Salut à tous et à toutes, c'est Kendan pour Why Should I Play, et aujourd'hui on va jouer à Call of Juarez Gunslinger. Hey cowboy, come on.
Don't I know you, sir?
Don't believe so. I haven't been here in many years. Name's Silas Greaves.
Silas Greaves? The bounty hunter?
Used to be.
Ah, well, what are you doing here in Abilene?
Just passing through. Got a little business to take care of.
Well, sir, it would be an honor if you would allow me to buy you a beer.
Hell, son, it would be my honor to drink it.
I'm Molly. Howdy.
I'm Dwight. That's Jack and Steve. Ben's behind the bar. Oh, I bet you got some great stories.
A couple.
Any of them true?
Jack, be nice.
A few.
What about your shootout with Henry Plummer's gang in Bannock, Montana? Is that where you started as a bounty hunter? That's what it says in this here dime novel.
Don't believe everything you read in them dime novels, boy. First man I hunted was back when I was riding with Billy the Kid.
You knew Billy the Kid?
Damn right. That scrawny son of a bitch had no fear. Wouldn't back down for nobody.
I heard he collected the 10 stars off any crooked lawman who crossed him.
It was a war, boy. The Lincoln County War. And Billy promised his regulators would take the life of every bastard who helped bushwhack John Tunstall.
Kid had a big chip on his shoulder and a hair-trigger temper. Made him dangerous as hell.
C'est parti, cowboy.
It was about 30 years ago. Billy was hiding out in an abandoned farm near Stinking Springs.
Donc c'est cool, c'est un jeu qui a pas mal de narration.
Because the man I had sworn vengeance on was riding with Billy's enemies. But before I tell you why I want that sumbitch dead, let me tell you what happened.
J'aime bien les jeux à narration.
I was heading back to the hideout when suddenly I had this funny feeling.
Funny, haha?
No, Steve. The other kind of funny.
En gros, on est Silas Greaves, un chasseur de primes, qui raconte son histoire. Et là, on va aller chercher Billy the Kid.
That's not fair. We're missing all the fun.
I knew those two morons would never let me through. I had no choice.
Pas fait exprès de tirer, hein, mais bon, le coup est parti tout seul, vous savez, c'est les choses qui arrivent.
Garrett's posse?
Oh yeah.
Il souffle dans le truc.
I heard the shots and I knew I had to move fast.
Faut courir.
Garrett and his army of deputies had surrounded the entire homestead. I decided to help Billy and the boys out of that. So that's just what I did.
Cette ville est trop petite pour nous deux. C'est mort là. Il y a un serpent dans ma botte.
I knew that going through that front door meant putting my butt in a shooting gallery, so I decided to get sneaky.
Quoi?
Watch out! He's one of them! Yeah, and he's right behind us! Where the...
On a gagné des compétences. Est-ce que c'est le moment?
Man, we're running around like a bunch of chickens with their heads cut off. Still, one of them reached the water tower.
Ah!
Not a bad idea. It would be a turkey shoot from up there. Luckily, these shooters Garrett hired weren't the sharpest tools in the shed. The right position is very important. Personally, I prefer to be on top.
Oh, you do you?
Indeed, darling. But where was I? Oh, yeah. A lot of them were saddle tramps or sod busters or drunken drifters looking to make a few bucks.
Oh, le con! Mais tu l'as! Oh merde. Je cherche trop de flingues, c'est chiant.
Then, I heard a friendly voice yelling at me from the window.
Hein?
Back door! We'll cover you! Truth be told, things weren't much better behind them. They made up for their lack of skill with a seemingly endless supply of ammo. I cut their numbers in half. But that just made the ones that were left twice as mad.
Entrez et trouvez Billy the Kid.
It was a bit of a slog, but I finally fought my way around the back of the house. And like that, I was inside, none the worse for wear. I passed Dirty Dave,
Merde, fallait pas le tuer.
and upstairs I found Billy and Charlie Baldry.
Il marque un malin comme un singe derrière moi.
Billy looked at me and said, "About time, amigo. Grab a gun and get to the window."
Wait, so you were friends with Billy the Kid?
En fait,
Yeah,
fallait pas le buter,
sort
donc
of.
on est plus ou moins potes.
Anyway, we were surrounded by dozens of deputized shooters who wanted to do us harm.
Ah, c'est vachement plus précis, ça.
I'm telling you, Garrett's men were dropping like flies, but they just kept on coming.
On niquait ça, il recharge. Oh! 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 Alors,
That's when Charlie got hit.
merde.
They're catching us in a crossfire, shouted Billy. Get to the other side.
On est pris une belle. Tout va bien. Bien, c'est bon.
I don't know how many of those cocksuckers I personally put down, but
Oh, oh, oh!
even to Billy, that maybe discretion was the better part of valor.
What's that mean?
It means that it was time to cut and run. They got a Gatlin, Billy shouted. Get the horses and bring them round back. I'll draw their attention. He directed that order at me, and I thought, why the hell do I have to do it?
Those poor sons of bitches are
Many
done
would have
for.
fled in my place. But I had that false sense of invincibility that many young men have. Like Jack here.
What are you saying, old man?
Jack is Joshua.
Yeah, he better be.
Mr. Greaves, please continue.
Please, call me Silas, ma'am. Now, where was I?
You were heading for the barn.
Making my way past the passel of fallen foes.
Sounds like Garrett hired a whole
bien.
regiment of hired guns.
Yeah, and just when I thought I was done with them, more of these hapless bastards would pop up.
Ouais.
Finally, I had the stables within my reach. And that's when I met Sheriff Pat Garrett.
I read that you went toe-to-toe with him, sir. That backstabbing bastard with that tacked-on tin star.
Le duel.
You challenged him to a showdown.
You read that in a dime novel?
It said he showed no fear as he took your measure with eyes like a rattlesnake.
Restez focalisé sur l'ennemi avec la souris. Quoi? Comme ça? Vise-le! Appuyez sur clic gauche pour faire les mêmes. Whoa!
And that you killed him in a fair fight.
Is that what that Penny Dreadful said?
Ooh.
No, boy. That ain't what I meant when I said I met Pat Garrett. So let me start again. I finally reached those damn stables.
C'est trop drôle. Chacun a sa version de l'histoire en fait.
And stepped inside, and
Réservoir d'œil.
last thing I heard was Garrett's
Yeah.
voice. That's not Billy.
Ah,
And
c'était pas
go
Billy?
on. How did it end?
And, boy, that was just the beginning.
La précision pourrie.
So what happened? Did Garrett arrest you?
Yeah, after I came to, the bastard had clocked me with his Colt.
Comme vous l'avez vu, on s'est fait assommer.
And the kid surrendered? When he realized there was no getting out of there alive.
So they locked you up in Lincoln?
Indeed they did. Sentenced me to hang right along with the kid.
Donc du coup, on doit être pendu avec le kid. Voilà.
It's important to know that I was only riding with Billy so I could find the bastard I was after.
En fait, Billy nous sert à retrouver quelqu'un.
He was with John Kinney's gang, and they were sworn enemies of Billy's regulators.
Why were you after him?
I owed that son of a bitch a bullet for what he had done to me and mine. Instead, all I got for myself was a goddamn death sentence. Luckily, it was right around then that I heard Billy make his move. He shot Jim Bell and a few other guards as he made his getaway. Later, they wrote that some lady friend planted a pistol for him in the privy. What the papers didn't say is that Billy helped me escape, too. My first order of business was finding a firearm.
Donc en fait, on cherche un mec d'un autre gang qui est ennemi de celui de Billy the Kid, donc c'est pour ça qu'il nous aide. Enfin, qu'on s'en sert, on sert de lui quoi. Et nous sommes
Luckily, I
gagnés.
located Deputy Bob Ollinger's mean-ass shotgun.
Bon, on est sur le B. Peut couper un homme en deux. Tout un programme.
I saw Billy through the window, and he yelled that I should take to the rooftops to make my escape. So I did.
Oh, on y va. Ah!
Hell yeah. That scatter gun was like a double-barreled
Il est fou
Howitzer.
ce mec! Oh!
It could blow a man clear off his feet. You hardly had to aim the damn thing.
Beaucoup des cons comme ça?
Guards were everywhere looking for him.
Anybody see him?
Échappons-nous! Fuyons! Oh! Oh! Quoi?
Some of that wood was slippery as hell. The whole town was up in arms.
Ok.
So that bastard you were after, what did he do?
He did me and my family a grievous harm. But I knew if I was ever gonna find him, I would need to get my ever-loving ass out of there. I tried to be stealthy and sneak my way past. But hell, if they weren't all waiting for me. Apparently, some of them thought I was Billy.
You hooligans can go to hell.
Il va là!
Leave him to me.
In town somewhere.
See, me and the kid shared a certain similarity in build and coloring. I was just glad I had Deputy Bob's mean-ass shotgun.
Aïe! Il est pas mort! C'est bon, respire, respire.
There's children.
Tout va bien.
So much lead was whizzing by my head, it was like everyone in Lincoln wanted to put me in the ground. I knew I needed to
Là, vaut mieux
find
être
a
bilingue,
hole.
hein. C'est pas le temps de lire.
Though I never did have a great fondness for those four-legged grass eaters. Smelly, sweaty, ungrateful beasts. We prize them too high, if you ask me.
Quoi? Quoi? Un gun, faut épauler celui-là. Un gun? Ah! Oh.
But where was the kid while you were busy getting shot at?
Gone. And that's when it occurred to me why Billy sent me for him.
Quoi?
He snuck out of town. I knew if I made it out of there in one piece, no one would put a price on my head.
Because everybody in Lincoln would be dead?
No,
Niveau.
because they all thought I was
Une
Billy,
plante qui bouge au milieu de la rue.
and all that blame would fall on him.
Ça, c'est pas normal.
Meanwhile, Deputy Bob Ollinger was organizing a posse to put me down. He was already a mean son of a bitch, but he was doubly pissed that I stole his mean-ass shotgun. Anyway, it was me or...
Oh boy. On y va tranquillement. Frère. Merde. Recharge. Oh putain. On se fait tirer dessus, on voit que dalle. Terrible. J'ai touché, non? Lui, il me touche en tout cas. Donc quand les mecs te touchent, c'est horrible. Allô? Le son s'en est suicidé. C'était un attentat. Il a essayé de me le foutre sur la gueule. Ah! Deux balles. Une balle. Zéro. Deux balles. Deux balles.
Finally, I found what I was looking for. The stable.
Plus de balles.
I guess Billy saved your ass, taking out Bob Ollinger the way he did.
Billy didn't kill Bob.
Sure he did. He dispatched him right after he shot Deputy Bell.
No, sir. Because Bob came right up behind me, angry as hell that Billy had lit out. Hello, Bob, I said. I think you better let me go. And he says, I don't think so, boy. Not with my shotgun. So we stood there in the middle of the street, eyeball to eyeball.
Oh là.
He intended
C'est
to
le
kill
duel.
me, and I knew I had no choice but to defend myself.
Quoi? Allez plus vite. Vas-y mon gros là. Dès qu'on entend le cœur battre, on peut tirer.
I killed him in a fair fight. Everybody saw I had no damn choice. Well, Lincoln got a mite depopulated that day.
So where'd you go
Il y a
after
des secrets à
Lincoln?
trouver.
Mexico. Until I realized nobody was looking for me. I ended up taking a job at the Rurales.
The Mexican Rurales?
I was hired to help them track down the cowboys.
The most vicious
Là, on est
outlaw
parti au
gang in
Mexique.
Cochise County? Curly Bill Brocious? Johnny Ringo?
Led by old man Clanton himself.
They must have paid you a pretty penny to take them hombres on.
Not really. But truth be told, I had my own reasons for going after those boys. After those boys?
So was the bastard you
Jean
were
Bert.
after now
Jean Bert
riding with the
contre gang.
cowboys?
Roscoe Bob Bryant was his name.
Oh.
But no, this time it was a different bastard I was after. The aforementioned Mr. Ringo. And yes, he was working for old man Clanton.
La
I
guerre
came
ici,
upon
là.
them robbing a stagecoach, which wasn't surprising,
Avec
being
des
they
valises
were
d'intelligence,
such
bien.
murderous thieves and bastards. The bandits wore red scarves, so I knew they worked
Ah
for
bah
the
lui, il se les
old
prend pas une
man.
gueule. Hein.
Over there! There!
Oh
I did my best to help those poor passengers.
Ça va pas, non? Oh. Début.
Moments later, the attackers were dead. And I checked the stagecoach to see how many passengers were still breathing.
Quelqu'un?
None. It was then I wondered if the rocks weren't hiding more bandits. Was that all of them? Or did I just hit the rear guard? I quickly got my answer. They attacked from on high like Apaches off the field. They would
C'est un
appear in
QTE,
great
d'accord.
numbers from above and rain down lead on their hapless enemies' heads.
Je croyais que c'était un truc pour esquiver
Making
les
use
balles
of
en
the
fait,
high
mais ça,
ground
mais...
and whatever else they had. Yep, the Apaches always appeared
Il y a
out
beaucoup
of
des camps comme
nowhere,
ça?
and there never seemed to be an end to them.
Hold on. Apaches? What happened to the cowboys?
Did I say they were Apaches? I said Clanton's cowboys attacked me Apache style. I was in a pitched battle, but I was holding my own against an overwhelming enemy force. See, at the time, I was still pretty green and would often blunder into regrettables. But I just kept shooting at anything I could see up in those damn rocks. I didn't see Ringo. I knew he was with the cowboys. He and Roscoe Bob had done me a dreadful wrong, and I was determined to have my revenge.
Putain! Putain!
To get to Ringo, I knew I'd have to fight my way past these other assholes first. Unfortunately, I was
Bande
running
de
out of ammo.
chiants, quoi.
Another perfect example of my relative inexperience as a hunter of men. I immediately knew that a tactical retreat was called for, as my vengeful fury was much less impressive without the bullets to back it up. Finally, they managed to corner me. Trapped
Mais
as I was,
vous allez la fermer?
Luckily, serendipity was on my side as I suddenly spotted a way out of my predicament.
Bon.
I ran ahead as if the devil himself was after me. Bullets were whizzing by my ears, but I wasn't about to roll over and die. I just kept running like there was no tomorrow. Because there wouldn't be if Clanton and his men caught up with me. As I was scurrying around those caves, I thought, what was I thinking? Going up against a guy like this. I just kept running, not knowing where the hell I was going. And that's when something miraculous happened. Like manna from heaven, I found the desiccated remains of what looked like an Apache warrior. The old weapon next to him supplied me with some much-needed ammunition.
Un dynamite. Allô. Il est pas mort lui. Merde. Ah mais... Gunslinger m'habite, ouais. Tue-le. Tue-le. Sérieux. Oh. Putain mais...
My fury knew no bounds.
Cadeau.
Hey, fucking running.
Hein?
It was finally time for that old man to pay for his sins.
Bon, c'est de calmer. Évidemment. Ça c'est bien.
A little stealth might have made more sense, to be perfectly honest.
Oh.
Because that old fool had a Gatling gun and enough bullets to last him till kingdom come.
Je l'ai fait une
But I knew
C3PO.
I could not let that deter me.
Oh.
Not if I was to find and kill Ringo. I needed to get that old man off that gun.
Oh le chiant. Quel enculé. Viens. Putain, plus de balles. Ah, comme ça.
Apparently, one of the cowboys made it out of there
Tu la
alive
fermes?
and told Ike and Billy Clanton that it wasn't a Mexican who took their father's life that day. They just assumed it was one of the Earps. And that little misunderstanding eventually led to that legendary gunfight at the OK Corral.
la fin de l'épisode. À la prochaine, cowboy.
Mélodie, bien dit qu'on a trouvé des animaux affamés. Quoi Mélodie? Oh mon dieu! 5! Corps à corps. Oh. Oh, le triple mandal. Ouh. Aïe. Bloqué. C'est vraiment qu'il allait me défoncer. Tue-le! Tue-le!